Hey, Chelsea here. Today's video is a customization tutorial. We're taking a look at the Freebie lead magnet opt-in template that you can get from ReadyToStyleTemplates.com. If you don't already have it, there's a link in the description that you go ahead and grab that, get that tutorial, and then come on back with us and we're going to show you how to customize it. Now this is specifically a Kajabi tutorial, so you're going to want to make sure that you have a subscription to Kajabi. We'll give you 30 days for free along with a one-to-one strategy call for 60 minutes, all for free. Link for that is in the description. Now with this tutorial, we're going to show you how to customize your template by making sure that you've got the right colors for your brand, changing the text, changing the images, and we're going to even show you how to connect the form as well as the thank you page so that your Freebie lead magnet is all set and ready to go. Now, go ahead and download the template, get that ready. You can either pause this video and we can do it along together, or you can watch the whole video and then go and do it on your own. Either way, we hope that this video will help, and let's get started. So before we can customize our template, we do need to upload it into our Kajabi site. So what you're going to want to do is head over to the pages area, and we're going to upload it in the landing page section. So once you're there, go ahead and click on upload template. Find your template file. It should be a zip file. Make sure you don't unzip it, keep it all together, and you can go ahead and upload that in. I'll just drag and drop it in. We're going to load that in. Now, at any point, you are more than welcome to either speed up this video or slow me down, whatever works for you. You can also pause the video and come back and work on it at your own pace. So our template is all loaded up here. Before we do any edits, let's just head back out here for a minute. We're gonna go rename it right away. This is a really good practice when you are working in your website, is to rename things immediately so that things don't get disorganized and confusing. Whatever you wanna name your page is totally up to you. I'm just gonna name mine Sigma template tutorial demo just to save us some time and just to make sure that I keep track of what this page is for. So I'll go ahead and do that here. This is tutorial 2, if I could spell. There we go. Okay, and for me, I don't really want this to show up in Google, so I'm going to hide it in the search results, which is a good idea to do for you when you are building a page before you're ready to launch it. Just hide it from the search engines so it doesn't start getting indexed by Google. But be sure you turn that back on once it's live so that your page can be found within Google. Okay, so we've got that loaded up. We're not really going to talk about anything else on that page for now because we just want to get into the customization. So now that our template is loaded into our site, we can go ahead and open it up and start taking a look at what we want to customize. So the first place that I would love to go and customize is actually over into the settings area. So over here, head over to settings. We're going to take a look at the style guide right off the bat here. Now, whether or not you want to have a background image going on in the background, that's totally up to you. This template has one that is being shown. So if you want to go take a look at it, it is actually here in this section. You'll see this is the image that is showing up in the background here. So if you want to go and replace that image, you're going to do that here in the general appearance area. Now, if you don't want to have this background showing at all anywhere, and you just want to have solid colors, then you're going to want to turn this one off. Okay, I'm gonna leave it on for now, but to add a new background image, just upload it here, and that will replace the one in this section. Now, if you wanted to change the background here, you can do that as well. We'll take a look at updating that in a little bit. But first, let's finish looking through the general appearance settings. So for your colors, this is where you're gonna wanna decide what colors do you want to update your template to have. So primary color is gonna be one of the colors that you might use for like a video player that might show up on here. So you can go ahead and choose a color that you think might work best. I have a few colors here in my color palette that I could choose from. Let's just go with a nice bright purple. My button color, I want to make sure that this is a pop color so that it shows very easily. In this case, it's going to be my bright purple. And the button text color on top of that bright purple, I do need it to be white, so I'm going to pop on a white color there. So you go ahead and customize whatever colors you want. Ideally, you do want to do your button colors here in the general appearance so that it does all the buttons across the whole entire page in one fell swoop. I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and we'll see that update. Excellent, we've got a nice color there. Now, if we wanted to edit the button style a bit more, we could, but because we chose this template because we like the style, we don't really want to go and change all of those things because then it will change the entire feel of the template. For example, I want to keep this button round because this is a template that has nice soft round curves, so I want to keep that as is. Now for fonts, this is something that you're going to want to change depending on what your brand is. You can go ahead and do that here. You can change your body font. Let's say I'll go over to Laura, another nice one that I like to use. And your heading font can be whatever you like. Let's go, I'll see what Roboto looks like along with this. And we'll take a quick peek at that. So you go ahead and put what your brand colors in are and put those in there. That looks fine to me. And font colors, if you want to adjust them a little bit, you can. I do have a softer gray for the body color here, but you're more than welcome to go ahead in here and change that as well, if that works for you. If you're interested in changing any of the sizing, those are all here. For the most part, this template has got kind of our standard sizes that are best for readability, so I'm going to keep those the same. So that's it for the appearance section, the general appearance section in here. And let's go ahead and take a look at the editing the colors of the backgrounds next. All right, so we've got a couple of sections here. So we have the opt-in form version 1, and we also have another version here at the bottom. We're welcome to use both of them on this page, or we can just pick and choose which one we prefer. So I personally like this one the best, so I'm going to actually go and hide this one so that I don't have it on there twice. You can have it twice. It does no harm. It's just extra. Go ahead and hit save on there. Now, if I want to change the color backgrounds, I'm going to click on the section, head over to the background section, scroll down, and right here where it says background color, I can go ahead and open that up, and I can go and change it to whatever background color I would like. So in this case, I'm going to pop on that blue. Okay. And since I have another green one, I should probably do it the same. Change that one to a blue as well. Hit save. It's great to save along the way so you don't lose anything. Now you'll notice that in this template, we do have a border, a green border around the outside of here as well as here, and you'll see as well as here. So we're going to want to change that to one of our brand colors. All right, so that is the block. So we just click on the block section there. Go ahead and head over to background, and you'll see that there is a border color here. So in this case, for my brand colors, I'm working with these three right here. I could do the purple, but I've already chosen that for my CTA color, so I kind of want to avoid that if possible. So I'm going to go ahead and try this bright green and see how it looks. Might have to change it for something else if it doesn't quite work for me. So I'm going to go ahead and do that in each of these sections here. So click on this one, border color, switch it over, and duplicate it for these other ones here. There we go. Oops, same thing repeated each time. And the last one, last border that I can see is on this image. And there we go. All right, let's save those ones in there. All right, now we also notice that we have an underline as well. So we're going to want to change that underline. So we're going to click inside the text here. Okay, and you'll see inside here our line is a nice green line. So to do that, to actually change that one, we're actually going to have to go into the source code here, which is, don't get scared away by this. It's really not that complicated. What you're looking for is, here is the border line. This is the code that creates that border line. So all we really need to do is put in our hex code for our color in here. So you're going to need to go grab that hex code from your brand guide. If you don't have that hex code color, readily handy, you can go ahead and use a color picker tool as well. And so for me, I don't have it ready for me for this tutorial. So what I'm going to do is just pop this background over here. I just need to go grab the color. So this is kind of a little trick. I want to put this color in. So what I'm going to do is just put it on my page, grab my color picker, pick from the website, and then I can go and undo that because I don't really want that color. And then come back to here, head into my source code, And because my color picker grabbed the hex code for me, I can go ahead and paste that in. There it is. Save. And there's my purple line. Now, if I didn't want the purple line, I could do the bright green line as well. Let's go see what that looks like too. So let me grab that color. Just repeat that as well. There we go. Grab my color picker. Of course, it's a lot quicker if you have your hex codes handy. But we're just going to keep rolling with this. And we're going to head over here, back into our source code. Let's put in that hex code. And there we go. So there's an option there. I think I kind of like the purple a little bit better. I'm going to go back to that. Yeah, I like that better. And yeah, we're going to go with that. I might even change the border there to purple as well. But we'll leave that for now. We do have some green here that we're going to want to change. So to change that, we're going to highlight it. We can go ahead and use the text color picker here. Let's see. Yeah, I'll go with that for now. And then we do have our lines in here as well. So again, click on the block, head over to our source code. There you'll see the border again. Let's go ahead and change that. All right, just for time's sake, we'll leave them green. But of course, you're going to want to play around with those colors and try to get the exact colors that you want. Oops, I lost the space in here. We're going to make sure we keep that in there. Oops, see, I lost the code. So we have to go and undo that. Thank goodness for the undo button. We got to make sure that we just replace the code and nothing more. So we can get the exact same thing. Beautiful. And we'll do this last one here while we're at it. Of course, I'm going to want to do these lines matching that top line, but we're just doing this tutorial quick so you can get the idea. So obviously lines should be the same color consistently throughout. All right, so that is it for the colors. This is a pretty straightforward template, so really not a whole lot of changing to do for colors. If you want to change the color of these names, same thing as what you would do for your titles as well. So that's it for changing the colors. Now, if we want to change the images, that's where we just need to go and replace them. So you're going to head over into Canva or wherever you have your images. Just click on the image block, go here where it says to select image and upload a new file, and voila, your picture is there. You don't need to change anything. You don't need to create these curves beforehand. The template here in Kajabi is already set up to do those curves for you. So you also have a mockup here that you're going to want to replace. Canva is really great for creating these mockups. They do have a smart mockup tutorial, or not tutorial, but an app within Canva where you can go ahead and create these very easily. So definitely get a really good mock-up image in there. And your testimonial images here, these ones are also done in Canva. So in this case, I wanted nice curved edges in these images, so I did that in Canva. All you need to do in there is just get one of the frames, whatever type of curve lines you want for your frame, and then pop your image in there, export it out of Canva, and drop it into Kajabi here. Now, to edit the text on your template, we're just going to start at the top here, and you can edit your title, putting in whatever the name of your freebie is, and then your paragraph under here, you want to describe your freebie. So I'm just going to toss in just some other text here, and this is by no means a perfect example of copy, but you'll get the idea of what it's like to copy and paste. So you just go ahead and click on it, highlight the text here. When you paste, you can hit just Control V, but I do recommend whenever you're working in Kajabi and you're pasting text into an editor, whether it's an email or a landing page, you do want to hit Shift. So Control Shift V for paste, or Command Shift V, depending on whether you're Windows or Mac, and it will paste the text in without any formatting. So if you had any bolds or underlines and stuff like that, or any spaces or paragraph sections, it will remove any extra coding that's in there, and it'll just paste it in nice and clean. Then you can go in and just edit the parts that you want. So let's say, for example, I want to put in a little bit of bold in here. Let's say it's designed for beginners and expert. Let's say that that's something important. I go ahead and highlight that, and I do Command B for bold. You also have all your formatting tools up here as well. If you prefer to use your mouse, you can go ahead and do that there. So that's all good and great there. If you wanted to change the text color and you just want to change it for this one part and not for the whole page, then you can just highlight the part that you want to change. So let's say we want to change beginners and expert to be a different color. I'll highlight it, come up here to my text colors, and we can go ahead and select a color, and there it is, and now it pops out nice. That's if that's what I want for the styling. You're going to have to decide what you want to do to style your page. So that's just pretty basic there. Now, one thing to keep in mind when you do paste in your text inside this template, depending on how much text you have or how little text you have, you may have to adjust the size of the block. So in this case, the form here, right now it's set at 8 columns wide. You may have to go a little wider, or you may have to go a little bit less, depending on how much text you have. You want to make sure that this section reads really nicely. So let's go ahead and hit save and preview this. Okay, now depending on what size of screen you're viewing this on, it may look good for you or it may not. And just because it looks good for you doesn't necessarily mean it's going to look good for everybody, right? So you do want to play around with the size of your screen. And we have some kind of designer inside tips on how to actually check the different screen sizes, which we're not going to get into in this video. So basically just want you to make sure that what you see is good for now, and you can check out some other videos on how to actually test for all different screen sizes. So right now this is looking pretty good. If you find that you have a couple of words kind of overhanging, you can adjust it. Let's just take a look and see what 11 looks like. And we'll refresh this. So now when you look, you can see that the entire title goes across the page, which you may like that. I personally like things a little bit more condensed. It's really hard when you have a big screen to have your eyes go, all the way across the whole screen. So my preference is to be a little bit less in that area. So we can take a look at 9 blocks wide. And now I just have one word kind of overhanging here in my title, so I'd prefer not to do that. And we don't want to go and click in here and, just go and do an enter, hit return down here and make it go under, because what's going to happen is other screen sizes, then it's going to look really weird. So don't ever do that when you're trying to make things fit. You want to adjust based on the block size up here as best as possible. And then the other place that you can adjust as well, if you're not quite getting what you want with just the block size, you can scroll down to the bottom here and adjust in the desktop layout section on the left and right side. So your template already comes with a padding, an inside padding or inside spacing of 50. And so if you want to adjust this and maybe we want to make it 80 on both sides, we can do that, and it squishes it in a little bit, and then maybe that's better flow for you. But again, make sure you're not just looking in the Kajabi browser. You want to make sure that you're looking in the preview. So that's looking pretty good. Pretty happy with that. So what I can do is, if I'm going to keep that bottom section on here, so remember we had opt-in form version 2. Let me just show that one. So if we wanted to go with that, we can go ahead and copy our text out of here and paste it in down here and just make any adjustments as needed. You can see the spacing on this one here. If I go down to desktop layout, has a spacing of 100. This one has a little bit more because we have the overlap of the image on the side. So it's got more on the side and less on the top, as opposed to this one here. The spacing is 100 on the top to be able to create this overlap, and then just a bit on the side. So you want to make sure that you've got equal amount of spacing around. So if you're going to adjust the sides and stuff, you might want to add in a little bit on the bottom too. And it just visually needs to look good. It doesn't, the numbers themselves don't have to actually match perfectly, but it needs to visually look consistent. So that looks pretty good on desktop view. And of course, whenever we edit our desktop, we want to go back and edit our mobile view. So let's go and preview that. All right, so if we want to see our mobile view, what we can do is just bring our page in nice and tiny. Okay, and usually if you go as small as possible, you'll be able to actually see what it looks like as a phone. Okay, so that's just one quick way. Of course, we have our designer secrets that we do to ensure it's even better. But this will work for our example here. So everything looks pretty good. It's a little tight on the sides here. So if I wanted to tweak those sides here, I just need to make my screen bigger again. We got to be big enough here. Make that bigger. And we can go ahead down to our mobile layout section here. And if we wanted to add in a little bit of spacing here, let's say maybe 10 on each, we can do that and just see what it looks like. Don't worry about it going over like this on our preview screen. As long as it is working properly on your preview over here, then you'll be okay. Yeah, so it's a little bit more space in there. All right. So that's the basics for updating your text, and it's pretty much the same thing for your testimonial section here, right? So you're really just going to copy in your text. So let me just throw in some text here, grab some from my other screen and pop it in, just highlight here and paste it in. And you can change in the names up top here, just copy and paste. Now, when you're doing your testimonials, one thing you want to keep in mind is the length of them. So here's an example. We've got one that's kind of a medium length. Here's one that is a longer length. And then here's one that is probably, I'd say, medium again. And we'll paste that in. So we'll paste in these three, and then we'll go take a look what it looks like. I'm not going to bother changing the names because that's an easy thing. You can just go in and edit the names up there. If we go and take a look at the testimonials, you'll notice that when we have one that's really long, we've got all of this extra blank space in here. So the key to this is to ensure that your testimonials are relatively the same length. It's okay if they're not exactly, but having a big drastic difference like this doesn't quite work. This is where you have to be a little strategic on the choices that you make for your testimonials. But with regards to the design, it is set for these to be equal width blocks. I could change that if that is something you're looking to do. What I want to do is in the main area here, in the testimonials section, so the section settings, we can go ahead to desktop layout and we can turn off the equal height blocks. And I'll show you what that looks like. And we will go over and preview, make sure we save along the way. This is what happens when you don't do the equal height blocks. So you end up with a little bit of an interesting design. Not my preference personally. This may be okay for you, but I prefer to have the alignment of things straight across the top. So we try to make all the testimonials the same size. So that is your little tip for doing your text there, and editing your personal story. Same concept, copy and paste in what you like. You may need to adjust the block size. So if I need to make it a little longer, I can go to 7. Right now my image is set to 5. Let's say my image was, could be a little smaller, then I can make that smaller and adjust this big. I have 12 blocks worth that I can stretch to. So, it just needs to be a combination of total of 12. So I can just work around whatever it is that I want to do. And I want to just make sure that whatever sizes I pick, that it looks nice on my final page. So save, and we can preview it. And we just want to make sure that everything is nice. We have equal amount of space above and below, and that our text is easy to read. The last step is to connect your form. So in order to have your lead magnet collect the leads, you need to have a form. So in your template here, you will see that there's a section that is needing a form. So it probably is blank when you get yours. So you're going to want to make sure that you choose a form. So if you have one that's already made, great. If you haven't made one just yet, then you're going to want to go to edit your forms, open that part up, and we're going to create a new form. And this is where you want to give it a good name. So in this case, this is my lead magnet opt-in demo form. You can name it whatever you like. That's going to help you remember what it is. Now, when you're setting up the form, you need to decide whether or not it is going to be a double opt-in or if it's going to be a single opt-in. If you do choose to do a double opt-in, you may want to send them a custom email to ask them to, go one more step to, verify their email before they get their freebie. That's always a really good email to customize. And you can also send them to a special thank you page, confirmation page after they do verify, then they go to a specific page. So this is a little bit more setup that we're not going to quite get into in this video. But for the time being, we're just going to stick with single opt-in. So they sign up with their email, and then they get your freebie via email. Once you have that, you're going to go decide if you want to add in any more form fields. I don't recommend any more freebie lead magnet opt-ins. You really just want to keep it minimal, first and last name and your email. Automations, if you want to add any tags, you can. This is where you can also connect your email nurture sequence, which is another piece of the puzzle that needs to be set up in order for your lead magnet funnel to be fully functioning. Lastly, if you want to get a notification anytime somebody opts in, you can go ahead and check this off, and then you can go and submit your email. So let's say I want to do that, then I'll put in mine here. If I can type. And now when you're doing this, a really important thing is that you make sure you hit enter after. If you don't hit enter, it won't register the email. You want to make sure that it has this gray box around it so that it actually registers. All right, so now you also want to connect a thank you page. So included in your download with this template is the thank you page that matches, which you also need to go customize when you're finished with this one. So you can attach your thank you page by clicking here and then going and finding it in your list of pages once you've loaded it, of course. The other place that you can go and do it, I'm just going to quickly hit save here. And the other place that you can add your thank you page is once you're on your page here, there's an option right here to add the thank you page. So in this case, you're going to want to go to a landing page and you're going to want to type in a thank you page. I don't have an actual one set up for this, but really you just go select your thank you page that you've customized. So that's the missing pieces that you need to make sure that you attach the form and that your full freebie opt-in page is actually fully functioning. So now in order to complete your freebie funnel, you're going to need a sales page to be able to send your leads to once you start your email marketing. Go ahead and head over to readyselltemplates.com, grab the matching sales page kit so that you can have a full 18-section sales page along with a copywriting workbook that will help you be able to write all of the copy that you need for that full sales page, and will also show you how to customize your automations to make your sales funnel run smoothly. And of course, there's awesome video tutorials in there that will help you to customize the entire thing. So head over to readyselltemplates.com and go ahead and get your sales page so you can finish up this funnel.